7:47, should we go through the headline makers today with Showbiz Report? Showbiz Report doesn't do you justice, Stephanie.
I'm really thinking of having a rebrand this year because I was like, one day I'm going to write my book and I'll be like, I was known as the Showbiz Reporter on GBNEWS.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I need a rebrand this year.
Showbiz Queen, Stephanie Tetchy is here.
We could go Goddess.
And Goddess.
Showbiz Goddess.
And, well, just say plain old author, but you're far more than that, Susan Holder, as well.
Journalist, general pain in the neck.
Good to see you both this morning. Stephanie, let's start with the Mail, should we?
Yeah.
What's Penny Mordaunt saying?
Let's talk about slavery. It's a very uncomfortable subject, especially for British people. I think Americans, they're quite open about it, where British people, we kind of sweep it underneath the carpet a bit. And I loved this piece by Penny Mordaunt in the Mail today, where she's saying that we shouldn't be ashamed of our past. And I didn't even know this. She was saying Britain was the first country to abolish slavery. And she's backing a campaign where there will be a memorial built to the Royal Navy's West African Squadron. And they were the first people to help free up to like 150,000 slaves between 1807 and 1867. And she's saying like a lot of people are against this because, you know, a lot of the younger generation...
We just don't want to talk about it.
We just don't want to talk about it. And the younger generation as well have this idea...
We don't want to talk about it. We're told to apologise.
That's the problem. And I think, you know, the younger generation feel like, especially for young black children, they might be thinking they're living in a country that is racist, and that's not the case here. And I think it's so important to talk about these kind of sides of history, because I remember when I was growing up in school, all I learnt about was Martin Luther King, Nelson Mandela, and that's it. And when they talk about slavery, it's such a complex, you know, history towards it. So I do feel, instead of saying, let's rip down statues, let's erase all this, let's talk about the good, positive stuff like that. So I think Penny's onto something. She's going to be revealing the designs later on this month, and I, for one, look forward to seeing it. And I do hope we can have these conversations where it's less controversial and more being educational for everybody.
Yeah. She puts it very well as well, because she says, yes, Britain had a role in the slave trade, yes, people made money out of it, but our biggest contribution to the evil trade was to end it. And that kind of balanced opinion is very, very interesting to kind of look at. But we don't educate children in school enough about all forms of history. I think I did the Romans and Henry VIII just on repeat. We didn't seem to do anything else. It was just very odd.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of black parents now, they want to teach their kids history now, black history and the slave trade. And I do think it's important even for black people to know about this side of the slave trade.
Yeah. Where would this memorial be? Do we know?
It's going to be...
There we go.
I just wondered where it was.
They haven't said where it's going to be, but they're just working on the designs at the moment. They're working on the designs, but I think it will be in Portsmouth.
Yeah.
Portsmouth would be the sensible place.
Yeah, they're working on the designs.
So she's MP for Portsmouth, isn't she?
Yeah.
What's this, Susan? This clip that we've got about girl math.
Well, I think you should watch the clip because it will explain girl math, if you've not, or girl maths, as we would say here.
Yeah.
I think the people in the clip, maybe they sound Australian to me, but it's two girls out shopping explaining very well what girl math is.
All right, let's have a look.
I think it's a no-brainer.
$2.50 divided by 10, $25 a wear.
Yeah.
For 10 wears.
You'll wear it way more than 10 times.
So $5 a wear for 20 wears.
So cheap.
Yeah.
You're literally buying it from the dollar store.
It's like getting a coffee every time you wear it.
Yes.
Which I'll do anyway. No,
you can
add more.
No, if you forfeit your coffee every time you wear that, then it's basically free. We cracked girl math. That is so good. We cracked girl math.
That's crazy.
It's not quite... No, it's very logical.
Because they're talking themselves into buying an expensive bag and saying it's basically free.
The logic they were using was, if they wear it a certain number of times and you divide the times by the cost of the bag, it was working out for $5. So that's the price of a coffee. And I always have a coffee when I go out. Well, if you don't have the coffee, then it's free. I think it's genius.
I think that's completely logical.
I think it's girl math.
You're not serious.
God
Are you lot
bless Girl math,
Are you lot checking the...
No.
No.
I have to say, my husband has taught me girl math over many years because I was the sort of person who would go out, come back with a kind of... And he's like, why have you bought this and why have you bought that? Why are you shopping at TK Maxx and New Look? Buy one good thing. And I'm like, oh, no, but this is reasonable. He said, but this is all rubbish. And he has taught me that buy good and buy well and you keep it for longer. Divide it by the number of times you wear it and by the value it brings to your life. If you're going to buy something expensive, also, we've had this conversation in the room, wear it. Don't just put it away, and then girl math.
Do you never do that and think, well, how long is this going to
I just think, how much is it, and can I afford it?
Well, you
and
have to afford it.
And if I can't afford it, the idea that you would buy, what was that, $300? That handbag.
£250,
right?
For a bag.
And they're saying it's an expensive bag.
It's an investment.
And she's saying it's basically free.
Because
no, it isn't. No, it isn't.
Well, it is because she goes to coffee.
She's not going to have the coffee she wants.
Oh, she's not going to have the coffee, is
That's what
she?
she was saying, and I believe her. And so I think
You lot are mad.
But it's not like it's a handbag that's cost like... I mean, I'm never one for a handbag that costs the price of a small car. I do think there's, or a watch that you would be worried somebody would take your arm off to get. I do think nice things are nice, but there is a tipping point, isn't there? But if you can afford it, life is short by the dress.
I think it's lethal for someone like me who is a shopaholic, though, because I will try, say, girl math for everything. And when it comes down to me giving up something, I won't give up something, and then I'll just have the expensive dress there.
Exactly.
And top of the coffee too.
Don't buy any leggings, though, from Lululemon if you're carrying a little bit of weight.
It's former CEO Chip Wilson. He's made some damaging comments about leggings, and he's saying that the brand, he stepped away from the brand 8 years ago, but he's saying that the brand is trying too much to be diverse and inclusive, and in much to their detriment, because he's saying that fat women, and I don't like using the word fat, I really don't, but he was saying that fat women should not be wearing leggings which are see-through, and he's saying it's much to the detriment of the brand, and he's saying
saying as well that it's because they're fat, they're see-through, because it's stretching the fabric, which you could argue, Chip, if that is your name indeed, that maybe you should make better leggings rather than fat-shaming women.
Wear what you are comfortable in.
And that's the thing, we've had this whole big trend for body positivity over the past few years, where I think women are feeling more comfortable to wear different things, and I feel like if you feel comfortable to wear something, why not? Why do you have to be under the scrutiny of someone who will never wear a pair of leggings in their life?
Well, I'll never throw mine away then. Thank you, ladies. Here's the weather.